There's something seriously beautiful about people that are actually crazy or like delusional. I don't know if beautiful is exactly the right word, but it's like it. If you ever talk to these people, it's just interesting hearing what they have to say, hearing about their delusions, because like they can go so in depth that it feels like you're tapping into another reality, like another layer of the multiverse, right? And I have a kind of funny story about someone that was like this that I talked to pretty recently, and this is kind of the motivation. This is kind of what made me think about this. And, you know, this isn't like the only experience I've had with these people, right? Like these people that are just, it's just like they're tapped into something else, a higher plane of existence. But yeah, I have this story and I think it's pretty funny. I do want to preface this by saying that this video is going to be a more kind of casual, it's going to be less edited, right? I think some of my other videos and TikToks, they're more professional, right? There's going to be more pauses with me speaking. There's going to be less cuts. It's just going to be more like realistic, more like I'm actually talking to someone in person rather than just a perfectly segmented, you know, professional video, right? So, but either way, right? So I work at Planet Fitness, and Planet Fitness is a job where I meet quite a few people on a daily basis. I meet a pretty good amount of people. I've made friends with people that I've met there, right? I see people I meet a lot of people at that job, and I get to talk to a lot of people. You know, not everyone I talk to, but a decent amount of people I get to talk to. And so with that, right, naturally, I'm going to meet some interesting people. This was one of those days. This was an interesting young lady that I met on this day, okay? And it just ties perfectly to the kind of theme of this. But basically, so there was this lady that came in, and she looked pretty normal. Like, she just kind of looked like just another person, right? So I didn't think much of it. Now, I was actually aware that this girl had been trying to get hired here. So this was like not her first time in here. So my coworker already knew who she was. So, you know, I was just kind of talking to her. I don't really remember what about. I mean, I don't think it was really much. But she just seemed kind of slow. Like, you could just kind of tell. And I don't mean slow as in like special, but it almost seemed like she had a drink or two. Like, she was like, oh, you know, like, and she would, like, she was just kind of slow. It's like, it looked like she had a couple drinks. I don't think she did. I mean, she very well could have. I really don't know. But she just seemed kind of slow. Like, you could tell something was off. Maybe a screw was loose or something, right? But either way, so I'm talking to her, and the conversation goes pretty quickly from like, and keep in mind, I think she's like pretty normal at this point, right? I don't know really anything, but the conversation goes from like me asking her like if she's still trying to get a job here pretty quickly to she starts telling me kind of her, like, I wouldn't say life story, but her current life circumstances, right? Like, one of the things, I guess she told me some stories. I mean, she did mention to me that she lived in a homeless shelter for like a month, and that she I'll speak more on that in a minute, but she was telling me like, oh yeah, I'm basically a gypsy. Like, I live in my car sometimes, and I'm just trying to get different jobs. And so this lady, she also mentioned to me that she had a gun in her car, you know, and she would talk about God a lot, and not in a, I'll bring the gun thing back up too in a second, but this lady, she would talk about God a lot, and I don't mean really in like a religious way. I'm talking more so about like the kind of newer like version of people believing in God that's straight off from religion, right? Like this she would talk about like, so back to the homeless shelter, right? She would talk about how like people wanted to fight her, right? Like, someone came up to her and like tried to fight with her, right? And she was like they were like, oh, you want to go, right? And then she said something like, not like, she was like, yeah, let's go, bitch, right? And then they would just kind of back off, and she attributed that to God. She would be like, these bitches don't fuck with me because I have God on my side, right? And so that was something that was a little off. She mentioned God a bunch, but not really from a grounded kind of perspective. It was like, yeah, it was like, these bitches won't fuck with me because I have God and he protects me. And she was like, I have a gun in my car, right? I have a 308 in my car. These bitches can't run up on me. And I asked her, like, oh, well, is it, like, registered or anything? And she was like, fuck no, I don't need it to be registered. I have God, and he'll protect me. He'll protect me from the cops or anything. So shit like that. Like, she would mention God, but not from a grounded point of view at all. Like, she was using it to, like, I don't even know. I mean, she was just kind of, you know, she was kind of crazy, right? And you could tell from talking to her. But this lady, you know, we talked about all this bullshit. She mentioned, like, how, like, she was like, yeah, I don't need any of these jobs. I live for myself, you know, all these corporations, like, they can go fuck themselves. If everyone lived for themselves, the world would be better. Which, low-key, I kind of agree with, right? Like, she said a couple things, just a couple. She said a few things that I was kind of like, yo. I was like, yo, hey, that's what's up, right? Or she was like, you know, the way these corporations treat humans, it's dehumanizing and it's evil. And I was like, yo, hey, she knows what's up, right? But, you know, she also has an unregistered gun in her car and thinks that the cops are going to protect her. This lady's like 25, by the way. This was genuinely the most random shit that could have happened. But either way, right? So she's telling me all this stuff, and so I'm kind of I want to see where this goes. So I'm entertaining the conversation, right? I'm feeding into it, and she wanted to, like, use a massage chair or something, and so I let her use it, right? Because she said she would get me food if she got a job at the place next door. It's a sandwich place. And since she was like, hey, if you let me back there, I'll get you a sandwich. And I was like, hell yeah, that's a deal, right? So I sent her back there. And then I left the desk or something when she got out. I didn't see her leave, but she leaves at some point. And this lady, probably like 20 minutes later, she comes back in. And something, like, she looks pissed. Like, she looks riled up. She has kind of the crazy in her eyes. She looks kind of twacked, dude. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, she looked fucked up. Not necessarily intoxicated, but she just, like, something had went awry in her mind. Like, something was off, right? And she comes in and she says, like, that somebody had stolen her Prada glasses, her $600 Prada glasses. This woman that lives in her car and does not have a job. Actually, she did have a job at a different place, but that's irrelevant. This lady that lives in her car has a pair of $600 Prada glasses, and she thinks that she left them in the massage and that someone took them. And so I was like, all right, well, only one or two people have been back there since. And so she's, like, tweaking out. She goes and looks for them. My bosses come out here at this point, and they're, like, asking her what's wrong. And she's not cussing them out, but she's just cussing a bunch. And they tell her to calm down. She's like, someone stole my fucking Prada glasses. Like, she's actually losing it over she was, like, tearing up, dude. She was losing it over these Prada glasses. Okay. And so she comes back out. She's just crashing out. She is losing it, right? And so this lady, she's like, hey, I'm going to go back there and look for them. And if I don't see them, I'm going to report them stolen and file a police report. So she goes back there. They're not fucking back there. So she comes back out, whips out her phone. She calls the police, and she reports her glasses stolen. I hear them. Like, I'm looking at my managers, and they're kind of like, bro, I was kind of losing it. I'm not going to lie. Like, I was low-key trying not to laugh. This was like, the whole scenario was just so absurd that I was sitting here, and I was like, I didn't know what to make of it. So I was just kind of fucking laughing. Okay. so she's on the phone with the police, giving them all the information, giving them the address, she's telling them, she's like, yeah, these bitches think they're slick because there's no cameras back there, but I know it was only one or two of them. Like, she's actually losing it, right? She hangs up, and she's like, I'm gonna go check one more spot. And so she goes to check. She comes back, not there. She goes to check another spot, and she walks back in with the glasses on her head. And so she calls the police again and tells them, she basically just tells them, like, hey, y'all, it's good, you know? I found them. Y'all don't gotta pull up. I'm good. I found them. And so nothing really came of that. But after that, this lady, she starts talking she comes back in, right? And she starts talking to me again. And she's like, she tells me that she's like, oh, like, I'm Egyptian, and I think I'm a descendant of the pharaohs. Like, I swear I have some kind of spiritual protection, right? Like, and she's bringing up God again, and like how God like protects her and stuff. And I'm just kind of like, I'm just sitting there, you know, I'm kind of intrigued. Like, I need to know more about this, right? I need to know more about this. And because, like, dude, maybe I can get some spiritual protection too, right? Maybe she can pass some of it over. I don't know. But either way, she's saying all sorts of shit. She's like, I'm glad that I found them, not even for myself, but just for the other person. Because anyone that messes with me, their life just gets destroyed. Not even by me, but it's just God, because he protects me. And so she's like, she's talking about how, like, I guess, like, she thinks karma's on her side. Like, people that do her wrong get cooked. They get clapped by life, okay? And so I'm sitting here, I'm acting very intrigued. My coworkers, mind you, so I'm injured right now. So I sit in a chair behind the desk. So I'm sitting in my chair, and my coworkers are standing. I'm at like the back, okay? I'm at like the back of the desk talking to her. And my coworkers are in front of me, back turned to her, and they're looking at me. And bro, these kids are fucking dying. So I'm trying to ask this lady more about her fucking spiritual powers, and I'm also trying not to laugh. Like, half of me is paying attention to what she's talking about, and the other half of me is just fighting for my life, because these kids are just looking at me dying, bro, right? And so, and I see them out of my peripheral, because if I made eye contact with one of them, it would have been over. And bro, like, yo, maybe, what if she's right, dude? Like, if I start blurting out laughing at this woman while she's talking about it, I might have been cooked. So I tried my best to stay composed, right? And so she's still talking about it. She ends up saying that she can, like, shapeshift. She's like, you know, my hair is different length some days and my face looks different. I told her some bullshit like, oh, you should photograph yourself every day and see if, so you can compare what your different alters look like, right? Right? And so I'm feeding into this bullshit, and she steps back and she slaps her stomach and she goes, and some days I'm a fat bitch. Bro, I fucking lost it when she said that. Like, I couldn't contain myself anymore. I fucking lost it. And she said that, and I mean, dude, this woman was like, I went on my break. She left at some point, and I went on my break, and she came back and apparently got kicked out by my manager. My managers were clearly not as interested in her stories as I was. And they were looking at me funny too, because I was like the only person back. Like, I have a bad habit of doing this. Whenever I meet people that are like just not there, I feed into it, okay? And you know, it's kind of fucked up, but look, it's kind of funny, man. It's also just interesting, you know, like this fucking lady has an entire multiverse embedded in her head. She's in touch with a different layer of the universe, another dimension probably, or something, right? So I'm trying to know what's up. But yeah, I mean, so look, I guess the moral of the story is, if you meet someone like this, just talk to them. Like, just get to know what's up, you know? Hey, maybe you'll end up with some fucking spiritual powers or something, right? Maybe you'll be in touch with another universe, right? Do be safe though, because some people are just crazy, man, you know? I think that's really all I have to say about this topic. Peace out.